When did you come out to yourself?
So it was not until I was 25. It was the summer of 1995 that I was, in Jackson Hole, Wyoming, and the set designer was just utterly convinced that I was gay and was just trying to shove it down my throat. The idea that I was gay.
Right.
And that was the first time ever. And it was really kind of the first time that it had occurred to me that I might be gay. And of course, I fought him on it. I was like, no, I was in love with Laura Lambert, who is this pianist that I was so in love with her talent at BYU, and she's a beautiful girl, and I really was like hung up on her. In hindsight, never had any like sexual fantasies or feelings about her, but I was really hung up on her, so I could use that sort of to defend myself against this attack that I was gay. But it was the first time anybody told me that I was gay, and it was the first time that I ever even thought, maybe I'm gay. I'm 25 years old.
Wow.
Yeah. And I can look back to previous to that when I had like fantasized about guys, but it wasn't even in a sexual way. I was really a very good Mormon. I was very good at keeping my thoughts pure. So like I was fixated on like my guy friends and like the really good looking guys in my ward and in my stake. I was like fixated on them, but it never translated in my own mind to like I want to have sex with them or do anything sexual, physically intimate with them.
Right.
So it wasn't until I was 25 that it occurred to me, maybe I am gay. And this guy, after he was done designing the sets, I remember he went home for the summer, and almost every single day during that summer in Jackson Hole, I received a postcard from him with like a Robert Mapplethorpe, like beautiful naked man on the front of the postcard, like every single day. And he was trying to sell me on the idea. My parents would kill this man. I can't even remember his name. Maybe he'll see this online and write to me. But that was really kind of when I was like, oh, wow, this really is beautiful, and I really kind of would like to touch that.
Right.
And then it was the next year that I met a guy. I was visiting our friend Tregony in Phoenix. I think I was sort of trying to have some sort of romantic relationship with her. She'll get a kick out of this when she sees it. It's been enough time now, I think, that we can laugh about it. But I was visiting her, and we went to a rehearsal for a friend's play, and there was a guy in the play who was just beautiful and athletic and masculine and talented, a good singer, and he had just done a production of a horrible, horrible musical that I had just done at the Sarah Shell, It's a Wonderful Life, the musical. And I thought I was the only person that ever worked on this show, but he had actually just done a production of it too. And we sat and laughed and talked about this show for hours and hours and hours. And here are like all my girlfriends kind of on the side going, when is he going to be done talking to this guy? But I was just so into him. And again, totally naive, like never even occurred to me that maybe he was gay or that what I was feeling for him was any kind of romantic attraction. I was just obsessed with this guy. And later that night at dinner, that's all I could do was talk about Matt McDougal.
Your man crush.
Yeah, and at one point in dinner, one of the girls was like, you just are so into him because he wants to have sex with you. And this light went on in my head. It was seriously an like earth-shattering moment. And I thought, these intense feelings that I have for this guy could manifest themselves in some sort of like physical intimacy. Like we could touch each other and hold each other in a loving, caring way. Like that, like our friendship could cross that boundary and it could be physically intimate. And that was really like huge life-changing moment for me. And I realized that that's what I wanted more than anything in the world. For 3 months, we didn't even live in the same town. He didn't know who I was really, except for that one conversation. But I obsessed about this guy for 3 months. I would I had his program in a bio, and I would look at it and read it and cry about it, and I ended up going to therapy at BYU over this guy and this little paragraph with his picture on it.
You're a groupie.
I remember I took it with me on vacation to my grandparents' house at Christmas. I had this little program. It was like my prized possession.
That's cute.
I was so tormented over this thing.
At 25 still?
At 25 or 26, yeah. and then I came out to Tregony. She was, I think, maybe the first person that I told, and I said, I think I'm in love with this guy. Like, this must mean that I'm gay.
And she's like, you don't even know him.
Yeah. And, I mean, it was really hard for her to hear, and we had a big fight, but she was great. I mean, she was the most supportive you could ever expect a girl in that position to be, I think. So then for, I don't know, a few months I kind of experimented with some things, and I think
you were still in school.
You knew me. I was still at BYU, and I would go up to the Sun with I had a roommate who was gay, Todd Parmley. Have you interviewed Todd?
Not yet. No. I want to.
Yeah. Todd hadn't really come out to me. I was really upset that he'd come out to everyone but me. But it turns out he didn't want to come out to me because he didn't want to, he knew that it was something I was struggling with, and he didn't want to influence me. He didn't want to appear to be proselytizing me as a gay, which in hindsight I think is kind of cool.